everybody, it's Miss Casey. So recently we have been spending a lot of time with people in our houses, right? Well, I thought it would be a great opportunity to get to know these people even better by interviewing them about their own food preferences. So the foods that they like, foods that they dislike, and foods that they have a special connection with. Now, before we start our interview process, let's get in our minds that it's okay for people to have different food preferences than us. That's because everybody has different taste buds. See these little bumps on your tongue? Everyone's is different. That's why your favorite food might not be the favorite food of your best friend, or maybe a food that somebody really, really loves makes you go, oh, you like that? But let's remember to be respectful of those differences because everybody's taste buds are different. Everybody's grown up eating different food, and making someone feel bad about the foods that they like or don't like just isn't a really kind thing to do. So let's make sure as you're interviewing, keep an open mind and just remember that everybody's taste buds are different and that's okay. So this activity is really easy to do because you don't need a lot of materials to do it. You need a piece of paper to write down your interview notes, you need a pen to write down your interview notes with, and you also need somebody to interview. Now this can be someone in your household, or you could do a video call or a phone call to somebody else who isn't living in your home right now. Alright, so to help me with this interview process, I've brought in again my brother Marty. You might remember him from our video when he did a blind taste test, which was really cool, and he's back again to help us out. So, before we start interviewing, let's talk about what makes a good interviewer. Now, being a good interviewer means that you are a good listener, so let's model what that looks like. So Marty, go ahead and ask me my first question here.
What is your favorite
food?
food?
Favorite food? Oh, let me tell you all about my favorite food. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Was I being a good listener there? Did I let him finish his question? Look at him, he's shaking his head. No, I was not being a good listener there. Marty, let's try that again. Let's model what being a good listener looks like during an interview.
Casey, what is your favorite food to eat for breakfast?
Oh, see, if I had listened and waited, I would have realized he wasn't asking me about my favorite food, but my favorite food for breakfast, which happens to be waffles. Alright, so let's also talk about what being a good food interviewer is. We talked about being respectful of people's likes and dislikes when it comes to food. Let's see what that looks like in action. So Marty, what's your favorite snack?
I really like to eat Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, come on, man.
Oh, that's right, I was yucking his yum. So remember, when people tell you that they like a food that you don't happen to like, that's okay. You don't have to like it too, but be respectful about what they like. So let's see what that looks like, again, done correctly. So Marty, what's your favorite snack?
I really like to eat Brussels sprouts.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. You know, those aren't my favorite, but I think that's cool that you like them. So there you have it. Those are two ways that you can be a good interviewer and a good listener while you're doing your interviews. So Marty and I are going to run through our interviews right now. So what's your favorite food to eat for breakfast?
My favorite, I don't think I have a favorite food. My go-to is usually bagel with peanut butter and honey. All right, what is your favorite snack?
Right now I'm really into radishes.
Okay.
What do you eat at home for dinner?
Whatever Steven cooks.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, so whatever Steven, who is our stepdad and a great chef, cooks.
Do you have a food tradition?
Yeah, in fact, I think this, we just did this for Easter. We typically get together as a family, and typically we eat ham and mashed potatoes, and that's really our go-to when we have our big celebration meals. It's like ham, mashed potatoes, and some greens.
All right.
So after the interview, you have the opportunity to turn the interview into a piece of art by drawing this person's food story. So I drew Marty's food story by drawing a plate on a blank sheet of paper and drawing the answers to the interview questions within it. So for example, I drew bagels because he mentioned that peanut butter and honey bagels are his go-to for breakfast. I also drew Doritos because he said those are his favorite snack. I drew a T-bone steak because he mentioned that at home he usually eats what Steven, our stepdad, cooks, and Steven makes a really good steak. I drew a question mark because Marty wasn't too sure what sort of food traditions that he has within his home. I drew a forbidden sign around an asparagus because Marty mentioned that asparagus are not his favorite food. And then I drew the flag of Ethiopia because I asked him, what food have you not tried yet? And he said, I don't think I've tried any Ethiopian food. I said, would you? And he said, well, yeah, there's just no restaurants nearby. Either we could go find a restaurant or maybe look up a recipe online to try. Now finally, I drew a restaurant with a picture of a car going to it because Marty says some of his favorite memories of eating food with loved ones take place at a restaurant because we usually go out to celebrate something special. And there we go. I hope you had a lot of fun becoming interviewers today. I know I did. That was very fun. I'm excited to try this out with the rest of my family members and see what new things I can learn about them. I finished Marty's story, food story portrait. I'm going to go give it to him as a gift. So feel free to do the same with your families too. One way that we can show kindness and appreciation for each other is by giving them little gifts, even ones that we draw. It's just one fun way to put a smile on somebody's face. So this video is based off of the Food Core lesson, Food Story Swap. If you would like to have access to these interview sheets, I will leave a link to them below. If not, feel free to pause the video now and I will post a photo of all of the questions, and that way you can write them down on a piece of paper if you don't have access to a printer. Anyways, I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.